Hi, welcome to my channel, Opening to Your Truth. Today, I'm going to be presenting the first case study of someone that I worked with. It's a very unusual case, and you'll see why very shortly. So, I'll tell you a little bit more about myself at the end of the video, but my name is Barry, and I'm a New York State licensed psychotherapist in New York. So, this woman came to me complaining that she didn't know why everyone hated her. Her family didn't want to speak with her. She had no friends. She was an older lady, very sweet, seemed very kind, very nice, and Israeli. So English was not her primary language, though she was pretty fluent in it. And she had family in Canada, so she spoke French as well. But she was really very sad because holidays would come and go, nobody would invite her, and nobody ever called her. Very isolated socially in almost every way that somebody can be isolated. Even on her job, she was definitely not liked, but she did a good job, so they didn't let her go. But nobody really wanted to socialize with her at all. So she was here for a reading. All I had was her first name and basically what her complaints were, which I would have preferred she not told me, but she needed to. So I closed my eyes, and the first thing that came out of my mouth, which shocked the hell out of me, was that she was a Nazi. And everyone saw her as a Nazi. They hated her because she was a Nazi. And I'm not talking about past lives. I'm talking about in this life. This is an Orthodox Jewish woman from Israel, mind you. And that everyone treated her like she was a Nazi. And therefore, nobody wanted to have anything to do with her. And this went on for like an hour, describing the different ways in which she interacted with others in a very, very Nazi-like behavior. So I was absolutely horrified by what was coming out of my mouth. I figured, my God, this has to be all wrong. I don't know what's going on. How could this nice, sweet lady, an Israeli, be called a Nazi? Anyway, when the reading ended, the first thing I did was apologize. And I said, I'm so sorry. And she said, no, you don't have to apologize. I've been called a Nazi all my life. Everyone treats me like a Nazi. She said, you got it exactly right. So, needless to say, I was relieved and also shocked. And then we went on to work at what exactly was going on within her that made everyone treat her like she was a Nazi. And for those who are not familiar with Jewish culture after the Holocaust, that is the absolute worst thing you could tell somebody. And to tell an Orthodox Jew that you're a Nazi basically is saying you're the type of person that killed our 6 million. So it was a very emotionally fraught session. What we did is we started exploring her system. There were certain belief patterns she carried from past lives, some from her upbringing in the family. There was a lot of blockage in some of her chakras, a lot of distortion. And as we started working through, we started with the third chakra because that's the chakra that deals with the interactional dynamics between yourself and the world. And I saw some really nasty beliefs down there. And one by one, We worked them through, and she started opening up and releasing and healing. Some she was able to do herself, some when she was ready and she had explored and worked through and didn't have the need to hold these patterns or blockages anymore, I was able to go in and release. A lot of times clients desperately want something to be released and they feel they're ready, but they're really not. The subconscious is holding on to it. There are attachments, there are cords that they're not willing to let go, so we have to explore them one by one. But after the attachment is gone, after the cords are cut, sometimes the person still is unable to let whatever it is go, the block, the fear, the pattern, the belief. So I can then go in when they're ready and remove it for them, which makes things a lot easier. Otherwise, you can be talking in circles. Oh, I'm ready. I want to get rid of it, and not being able to. And this can go on for months, some people for years. Generally, it would take me like between 15, 20 minutes to just go in and just take it out. And then there's a tremendous sense of release. And it's not just removing whatever is dark and heavy and black, but filling it with white light. I connect with divine energy. I bring in white light, and it fills the space just vacated by, it's not really negative, because negative is a subjective judgment, but you could say negative energy, and filling it with positive or just energy that's more pro-life. Negative energy is in many ways anti-life. And that's a term that doesn't have all these connotations. So I think I'll use that. And then we started looking, her heart, oh my God, it was closed tight like a vault. So we had to work to open up the heart chakra. And there was a lot of sadness, a lot of misery, a lot of rage that she was holding on to there. And one by one, we got in touch with what was going on. Some was from the past, some was from more the present time, and enabled her to let them go. And then, just as I did in her third chakra, in her heart chakra, at the end, she was able to just like dump out everything that was left. All the emotion, the sadness, a lot of tears, a lot of rage. First, she had to express it by crying and really talking about her anger. And when she was ready, this time she was able to let it go. There's a lot of visualization techniques that I use, but it's basically up to the person. Sometimes you can just sort of throw it out. Sometimes you need to melt it, like take a substance that would melt whatever you're holding on to. You can attach it to a balloon and let it go up. My favorite is to make it so heavy that it just sort of falls down out of wherever you're carrying, goes through your feet and down into the earth. And some people come up with their own unique things. Some people like to release things by using color. Some use sound. Haven't had anyone use taste, but that is another viable way. And when it was done, her heart was so much better. And this was after several months. And astonishingly, a relative who was in Canada called her up for the first time in years, just out of the blue, and asked how she was and started talking. And then invited her to come for a visit. Oh my God, this was major. The client was absolutely astounded. And then her relations at work started getting much better. Her boss, who hated her guts, all of a sudden started liking her. Her coworkers got more sociable. and people wanted to spend time with her. And by the time we worked, she finished working. She was in a very good place. She had several family members who wanted to incorporate her back into their lives. She started making friends and going out. I mean, her whole life changed. And of course, this wasn't the end. We had more work to do on different aspects of her system. But as she released what she was holding on to, her life changed. And what happens is when you hold these things deep inside, it's not just inside your body, but people are aware of it. They can feel it, they can sense it. If you ask them, they may not be able to tell you what is going on, but they react to it. And what happens is whatever is within is projected into the aura. And that's what the aura carries. And then people experience this. They feel, without being able to put it into words, they can't intellectually define it, but they're aware of what's going on. They're aware that this person, oh, she's always so angry, or oh, she's not a nice person, whatever it is. This is usually the best that they can quantify it, but they know that this is not someone they want to be close to, they want to spend time with. And as the work on the chakras, the beliefs, the feelings, as all of that gets cleansed, the aura starts changing. What you project from your third chakra starts changing. And as a result, people start feeling and experiencing you as being different. Say, gee, is this the same person? Of course, it doesn't usually occur in a dramatic fashion. It's slower, it's gradual. And as it changes, then the world around you changes, because what you give out to the world is basically what you get back. So, this was episode 1 of my series on psychotherapy, the way that I do it, which is a spiritually oriented and usually channeled form of therapy, which gets right down to the heart of things. All right, so my name is Barry Naroff. I'm a New York State licensed psychotherapist, professional spiritual intuitive. If you're interested, I take any out-of-network insurance, assuming your deductible has been met. And I do readings where basically I just ask for your first name and almost no other information, and just give you info on your life lessons, any major traumas, deep-seated emotions, events that happen, all kinds of things. And then many people like to use that as a blueprint for therapy that they then dive into. And then, of course, I do ongoing therapy in either individual or couples. I have done family therapy in the past. I haven't done it for a while. It's not as gratifying for me because it's more how people interact with each other rather than what's going on deep within you. But there is some of that in family therapy as well. I hope this is proven of interest. I have a webpage called Birthright Therapy. And if you want to contact me directly, it's barry@birthrighttherapy.com. Or just make a comment in the bottom of this YouTube video on the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you like what you're hearing, if it's of interest, then please subscribe. That would be wonderful. And if you want to be notified when the next one will be coming out, hit the little bell next to it, and YouTube will miraculously know it and notify you. Okay, so I want to thank you. And this will be a weekly series. Episode 2 will be coming up next week. And until then, goodbye.